All right, quick take, friend. The waiting is over. The league handed down a 6-game suspension for Rashid Rice, and honestly, the reaction inside the Chiefs building was relief. Think about it. For months, everyone played the guessing game. 0, 2, 4, 8, double digits. Now we know the plan. That matters more than you might think. From Kansas City's point of view, getting that decision up front is huge. You don't have to tiptoe around mid-season what-ifs. You can game plan from day one, knowing the timeline. Rice misses the first 6 games, he's back in Week 7. That gives a clear runway for the offense to find rhythm without him and then reintegrate him when he returns. It's far better than a suspension that starts in the middle of the season and throws everything into chaos. Now, let's be honest. We all wish it was shorter. 6 games means he's gone for the early stretch when you face quality opponents. But compare it to the worst-case scenarios that were floated: 8, 10, or even a full season. And 6 looks pretty reasonable. The hosts in the clip made that point well. The Chiefs got clarity, and clarity is a competitive advantage. So what does this mean on the field? First, you should expect Hollywood Brown to see more consistent snaps, not just spot plays, but real designed work. He's a proven pro and gives Mahomes a reliable downfield target. Then there's Jalen Royals, a younger option who now gets a legitimate chance to carve out a role. And don't sleep on Xavier Worthy and the returners who can make splash plays when given opportunities. From an offensive scheme angle, think short to intermediate rhythm routes early while the other guys settle in, mixed with periodic vertical shots to keep defenses honest. The Chiefs can weather a temporary loss of their top receiver because they still have elite playmakers and Mahomes' ability to improvise. The goal: build chemistry with the replacements so that when Rice returns, he steps into an offense that's moving, not one trying to relearn everything. Quick interaction for you. Do you think 6 games was fair? Drop yes or no in the comments and tell me one reason why. I'll read the best replies in the next video. Before we move on, a small ask. This channel is pushing for 5,000 subscribers, and every new subscriber helps us grow daily Chiefs coverage. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the week-to-week roster updates. Okay, let's dive into the players who are going to pick up the slack while Rashid Rice sits out the first 6 games. This is where things get interesting because the Chiefs have multiple weapons, but each has a slightly different role and ceiling. If you're a fan, you're going to want to pay close attention to these early season opportunities. First up, Hollywood Brown. He's finally going to see consistent snaps, which is huge. Brown's speed and route running can stretch defenses vertically, creating space for Mahomes and the short passing game. When Rice comes back, Brown can transition back into a complementary role, but early on, he's your go-to deep threat. Next, we've got Jalen Royals. He's younger, a little less experienced, but this is his time to shine. Royals can handle intermediate routes, work the slot, and pick up critical third down conversions. Think of him as a glue guy, reliable hands, solid awareness, and someone who can grow into a bigger role as the season unfolds. Week 1-6 is really his audition, and the Chiefs are betting he can step up. Then there's Xavier Worthy. Worthy's a true speedster, capable of stretching the field horizontally and vertically. He'll be rotated in to keep defenses honest, especially in packages that want to exploit matchups against slower defensive backs. Worthy might not see heavy targets every game, but his big play potential makes him a player to watch in every snap. Don't forget Tyquan Thornton and Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju brings veteran savvy and reliability, while Thornton can be used in more specialized roles, gadget plays, motion, and occasional deep shots. These guys help diversify the offense and prevent defenses from keying solely on Mahomes' top options. Now, here's what to watch. The Chiefs may rely more on short to intermediate routes and quick rhythm passes early in games. This will allow Mahomes to find comfort with Royals, Worthy, and Brown, while Rice recovers from the bench absence. Expect some creative rotations, particularly in red zone situations. to test which combinations generate the most consistent yardage. Here's a question for you. Which of these replacement targets are you most excited to see? Drop one name: Hollywood, Royals, Worthy, or Thornton in the comments and tell me why. I'm genuinely curious which player Chiefs fans think will emerge as the breakout story. Before we jump to defense, don't forget, if you like these in-depth breakdowns of the Chiefs roster and game planning strategy, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. We're building toward 5,000 subscribers for daily updates, and every new fan counts. Now let's shift gears and talk defense, because the Chiefs roster cutdowns brought some real surprises and a few questions we need to keep an eye on as the season begins. The biggest shocker? Mike Edwards getting cut. This guy was a steady veteran in the defensive backfield, someone who stepped in during critical moments in previous seasons. Losing him leaves a gap in experience, especially with a young safety group behind him. Trent McDuffie is solid, yes, but the safety room now relies heavily on Jaden Hicks, who hasn't carried a full-time role yet, and Brian Cook, who had a rough 2024. Early season chemistry will be tested, and it could be a point of vulnerability. Another curveball: Mike Pannell being traded. Presumably, he was a starting nose tackle, and suddenly he's gone. In return, the Chiefs bring in Derek Nottie, a veteran who had been out for just a few days. On paper, this move seems puzzling, but there's likely a method here. Reports suggest Pannell may have underperformed during camp, or that the Chiefs wanted to experiment with younger rotation pieces like Omar Norman-Lou and Ashton Galati. If the young players step up, it could pay off long-term, but early season depth will be tested, especially against run-heavy opponents. This leads to a bigger theme. The Chiefs are leaning on youth, not just on the defensive line, but throughout the secondary and safety positions. It signals confidence in the young guys, but also comes with some risk. Injuries or miscommunications early in the season could create issues. Chris Jones remains the anchor, along with steady vets like Charles Minhu and Mike Dana, but beyond that, it's largely unproven talent. The takeaway: the Chiefs' front office, led by Brett Veach, is playing a long game. They're not afraid to cut a draft pick or a fan favorite if the value isn't right. This approach has kept the Chiefs consistently competitive, and while it may hurt a little on cutdown day, seeing players you root for leave the roster, it's part of why Kansas City has sustained success for years. Quick interaction. What do you think? Is the safety room ready for prime time, or should fans be concerned? Rate it 1-10 in the comments. I want to see what the Chiefs Kingdom thinks. And of course, if you're enjoying these breakdowns, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers so that every day more Chiefs fans can get insights like this before anyone else. All right, now let's zoom out and take a big picture look at the Chiefs roster. Beyond individual suspensions and cut-down surprises, the bigger story here is